Hi guys, welcome back to my channel again. Last week I shared with you guys my plans of making 1 million naira by the end of this year. And even though I realized that in that video I wasn't detailed enough to say the means by which I'll be making this money, but when I thought about it, I decided to actually keep an open mind about it. Throughout the course of last week, I have learned some very important lessons that have been helpful in drawing me a step closer to achieving this goal, and that is what I want to share with you guys in this video. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Here we discuss tips for growth, personal development, and if you're someone that is passionate about building something worthwhile but you've been struggling with staying consistent with the set tasks, then this channel is for you. So today I want to be sharing with you guys how to actually achieve the goal that you set for yourself. Like I said earlier, in the course of last week, I've actually been learning a lot of vital lessons that has helped me to understand if this goal that I set out for myself is actually something achievable, right? Or just fluff. One of the most important things that I actually learned last week was how much difference it can make in your life to be grateful. You may have heard this before, or you may never have heard this before, but to move to the next level from where you are, you actually have to appreciate the level that you're in. This is very important because it kind of changes your perception. Most times when we set goals for ourselves and we're majorly fixated on what it takes for us to get there, how much work we have to do to get there, when we eventually get there, we never really take a moment to be grateful for where we are. I don't know why, but usually it's just one big thing after the other, one big thing after the other, and the next big thing after the other. It is actually very important to be grateful for where you are. It reflects in your attitude, it reflects in the way you handle the things that come to you. It doesn't matter whether you think that what you've achieved is not really so much. It might not mean so much to you. Yes, it might mean so much to people, but this isn't about people. This is about yourself. I'm not necessarily talking about giving yourself a pat on the back because of what you've accomplished and all the things that you've managed to have. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being grateful for where you are, being grateful for your little wins. Because I'll take myself for an example. In the last few months of my housemanship, because of how intense the work can get, because of how stressful, most times I catch myself complaining a lot. I catch myself always lamenting how busy this work is, and sometimes we actually forget the privilege that has been given to us to care for people in their most vulnerable state. Throughout last week, I have been intentionally grateful about my job. I've been intentionally grateful for how far I have come, and I needed to tell myself again that it wasn't actually an easy feat going through medical school and coming out a medical doctor. I intentionally made effort to be grateful about the fact that I had the job, and I would say that that has actually really helped me a lot. Being grateful for where you are helps you become more fulfilled with the little thing that you do, and opens up your mind for more things, because you can only start from where you are to go higher. As a matter of fact, as I became more grateful for my work, I began to learn more from it, because there's actually a lot of things to learn during the course of housemanship. So instead of just always complaining about how tedious the work can be, I took it as it came, rested while I could, did the work I could, and somehow it just started to give me a certain level of fulfillment that I didn't really achieve from it before. Before, I was more focused on having to finish my job and get out of the hospital as soon as possible. But with intentionally doing my work and trying to be grateful for the privilege and the opportunity to care for people, the work became more fulfilling and kind of light. I don't know, like it's stressful, but then I don't really get to feel so much burden about the stress as I did before. So I think that it's actually very important to be grateful for where you are, for how far you've come, because in that atmosphere you get to, I feel like you get to be more in touch with yourself. You get to be more in touch with yourself. I know you might be asking, okay, so if you're grateful, how is that supposed to help you achieve your goals? I might not be able to answer directly how being grateful helps you achieve your goals, but I believe that the mindset that comes with it, the peace that comes with it, it just unlocks a different level of dedication to details, of intentionality, that when all put together can help you achieve your goals. The second most important thing is understanding exactly what your goal is. You have to know what your goal is. It is very important. Right from the beginning, you have to know exactly what it is. Understanding exactly what your goal is and understanding what it takes for you to get there will put you in a better position to get there faster. You already know the sacrifices that you have to make. You already know the things that you have to put in, the amount of work that you have to put in to be able to get you to where you want to be. Now, not understanding exactly what your goal is, that is where distraction comes in. When you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do, you are easily derailed away from what it is that you want to do. For example, some couple of days, when I wake up in the morning and have at the back of my mind, I just have like some certain tasks that I have to do for the day, and I just go about my day knowing that at some point in my day I'm going to do these tasks. The amount of tasks that I'm able to achieve that day is usually not the same as when I time block. So time block is essentially fixing activities within a specific time frame. Like when I say I have to do this from maybe 7 to 10, and then I have something else to do from 10 to 12, and then I have something else to do from 2 to 4, I'm usually much more efficient when I time block than when I just leave the rest of those things to be done randomly at any time in the day. And why I actually started to time block is because I noticed that when I just fix some amount of tasks to do for the day, I usually don't get serious enough about it to probably like midday, and then when I start, I realize that at the end of the day I wasn't able to finish these tasks. So this is a clear example of me not understanding what my tasks would take. Now I know that I have a task to do in the day. I have made up my mind that I'm going to do that task. I'm aware that I'm going to do task, but I didn't understand what it takes. So like I said in the title of this video, how to intentionally achieve the goals that you set for yourself. Now, one thing stands out in that key sentence, and that's intention, right? And I believe that you can only be intentional about something if you really want that thing. Now, it means that if you don't really want the goal, then there's just no way you can be intentional about it. The third point I would want to talk about is making up your mind to put in what it takes to achieve the goal. Now, there's something very important, especially about a task that takes time to achieve, and that is focus. Because we live in a world where there's constantly a lot of things trying to take our attention, take our focus, and these things are actually valid, like very valid. So it only takes a certain amount of focus to your goal or to what it is that you want to accomplish to be able to, kind of help yourselves to not be trapped up by these distractions, because they may not necessarily be distractions, but in that time frame and in that moment where it's kind of taking you away from what it is that you actually supposed to be doing by that time, then it becomes a distraction. So that is why there's a making up of the mind that has to be done, right? Because it's only when you make up your mind about something that you can be able to preserve your focus long term about that thing. Because along the way it gets boring, it gets tiring, and you just don't really want to go through with it. Also, something I've always known but I kind of appreciated better in the course of last week is how much it is important to take care of your health. Now, in the middle of trying to juggle everything that I have to do, combining the work in the hospital with trying to make my video, trying to edit it, and some other things that I was supposed to do, I became easily tired, had poor sleep, which generally affected my overall performance. So I had to consciously remind myself that it's actually important to take care of your health, because I personally think that health is the greatest treasure. Every other thing seems important, right? Until your health fails, and then you realize how much those things are not as important as your health, or how much you can still get them without having to sacrifice your health. So yeah, I was reminded again how that it's important to make sure that you are giving your health a priority, in as much as you also want to achieve your set out goals. So yeah, basically that's just a couple of things I learned during the course of last week, and in the process of trying to pursue this particular goal. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section about anything you learned, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.